Hi there, Steph. Thanks for popping by. So today I'm sharing with you a card I created using a Create a Smile stamp set called Decorated Wishes and some Brusho powder paint. And I've started by using some Ranger watercolor paper. I use my embossing body bag to remove the statics, and then I use a main floral image from that stamp set with some Versamark ink, and I stamped it onto the cardstock. I will also stamp the greeting in the middle, and then I use some Nouveau clear embossing powder, and it was the first time I used it, and it's quite good really. I've discovered that brand with the crystal and glitter drop. I think it's more glitter drop the ones I bought, but they have glitter drop, and it's good product. And I'm not sure, but I think they are made in the UK, and I find them quite easy to get hold of in the UK, so that's a good point for me because getting stuff from the US sometimes is a bit tricky. So here I'm using my heat gun to melt the embossing powder, and that card is focused on the coloring part of it. So you will see the photo at the end. There was a whole work around adding accents and glaze pen drops all over the card. I've skipped that step because looking at it, it's a bit boring. You can see the final result, but I thought you may enjoy watching how the Brusho paint reacts with the paper and how it travels on the paper and stuff like that. So I think it's quite cool. So I started by placing water on the card within the design of the floral design, and then I decided to use a little bit of water with a little bit of paint and just do the other little branches. And once I used the heat gun on it, I thought it didn't look so great. And the problem with this pigment, it's not really a problem in itself, but they are extremely pigmented. So if you just leave them as they were, and you put your finger on it, you will pick up the pigment on your skin. It will go on the card, on your clothes, on the table, or everywhere else. So I've decided to dilute the pigment. I just thought it was wiser. And in terms of design, I thought it looked nicer anyway. So I'm glad I did that. So here I'm diluting the red pigment onto the floral design, and then I'm placing some yellow. I can't remember if it was yellow. I think it's maybe orange actually, all around the card. And I was going for warm color, that floral reminds me of a sort of sunshine, even if it's a floral, but the round shape makes me think of sunshine. So I thought it was quite nice to pick these warm colors and just place them around the card. I will use a heat gun, and after that, the problem with the heat gun with the Brusho is that it kind of pushes the Brusho throughout the card. So when you use the heat gun, your pattern does change, but I mean, if you don't use a heat gun and there's still water on the card, it will change anyway. So once I did that, I decided to spray a bit of water and add a bit more paint, and I just went on with the flow until I was happy with the final result, really. So I could have left it like that, but it's quite nice to intensify in places, to create a bit of contrast. And then I will go around the card and just I want to say loosen the pigment. What I mean is just adding water so the pigment is not quite as intense on these places. And then I just spread it a bit around. So as you can see, it's not rocket science. I'm just going with the flow, and I've not used Brusho near as often as I wish I did. But I'm still learning. The only thing that's slightly off-putting at say is just because it makes so much mess. If you happen to have some on your hands, on your desk, you will find it for a few days, so you better use a good sponge and clean it off. So here we go. That's most of the coloring, really. It's quite a quick video, but I thought you may find interesting to see what kind of result I get with the Brusho, and if you wanted to give it a go. So if you want to see the photo, please head over to my blog. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye!